say something if you wasn't there?
A Texas death row inmate once described as having a heart full of scorpions faces execution.
Billy Wayne Coble is condemned to die by lethal injection.
Are you frightened?
He's a cold-blooded killer, and he deserves to die.
And I've been granted Billy's last interview. His life hangs by a thread. I'll be with his friends and family, and the victims of his brutal crime.
Can't feel sorry for someone
as they prepare for Billy's final hours.
Nellie, what's happening?
In the countdown to his execution.
Obviously something went terribly wrong in there for the Coble family. Excuse me, sir, has the execution gone ahead?
It's Saturday to Central Texas. I hope you're having a great weekend so far. It's definitely been a little warmer today than it has been. Our temperature's in the middle 80s and Waco at 86 right now.
The death penalty is legal in 29 states across the US, and around half of all Americans are in favor of it.
Texas is the execution heart of America. More people are put to death here than in any other state, which is why I'm here to talk to those prisoners who are fighting for their lives and to the people who want them to die. I'm going to be meeting Bill Coble, whose execution date is set for next week, and barring a last-minute stay of execution, he knows that he faces a lethal injection of drugs. And I just wonder, what is it like knowing you're about to die in a week's time?
Billy Coble slayed 3 innocent members of the same family in 1989 and has been languishing on death row ever since. He's being held here at the infamous Death Row Penitentiary in Livingston, Texas, alongside the other 212 men the state has condemned to die. 70-year-old Billy is fighting for a last-minute stay of execution.
Yeah.
If it fails, in just 8 days, he'll be the oldest man to be put to death in Texas for 100 years.
Hi, Bill. I'm Susanna.
Well, you definitely have an English accent.
I definitely have an English accent, yeah. Bill, do you count the number of days, months and years that you've been here?
About 29 years.
Are you frightened about next week?
Well, death is death. A person said one time, he said, that's a horrible way of dying. I said, what is a good way? Could you tell me what a good way is to die? I have known probably about 400 people that's been executed, and I remember every one of them. The longer you live, the easier it is to accept death. Who is not going to leave this world? Aren't we all?
You're absolutely right, but not many of us know when or how, and you know those two facts. But do you still hope that there might be some last-minute stay of execution for you?
I don't have the luxury or the desire to give it any thought. I mean, I have to live for this moment.
When you reflect now on the reason that you've spent almost 30 years here on death row, it was for an act of extreme violence. Do you regret what you did that day? Do you understand and feel the horror of what happened?
Was you there? Why do you speak? Because it's the truth.
What happened? What happened?
You say, I did. How can you say something if you wasn't there?
But you accept that you're guilty of those murders, don't you?
I accepted I did the murders, yes. I accepted that I'm here for the murders, yes.
Relatives say the motive was revenge. A 40-year-old man out on bond went on a shooting rampage, killing 3 of his in-laws.
On the 29th of August 1989, Billy Coble drove to the small town of Axtell in central Texas. He was on the hunt for his estranged wife Karen Vicker, who was threatening to divorce him. When Billy arrived at Karen's, she wasn't home. Instead, he would end up killing her brother, father, and mother.
A bloody night came to a violent end when the suspect crashed his car some 60 miles away. He's in custody and murder charges are pending.
At the time of the murders, the Vicker family lived on the same street. JR, Karen's nephew, was 11 at the time of the vicious attack. Tell me what happened that day.
Myself and my cousin, who's around the same age as me, Heather, we were homeschooled us. And I didn't get off the bus at my house because I knew my dad would be at work. So I got off the bus and went to my aunt's house. And I remember going in the house and Bill was there, in the house waiting.
So you went into the house, said hi to Bill. What happened next?
He used some rope or something and tied us all to the bedpost, like with our hands behind our back. And then he put duct tape on our mouths.
Were you scared?
I guess at that age your mind doesn't go to those places because you don't think that stuff happens.
Now Billy left the children tied up and headed off to ambush and kill Bobby Vicker, JR's father. Judge Ralph Struther was the prosecutor at Billy Coble's trial.
Bobby had been a Waco police officer. He'd gotten off work that day and had gotten home and was working around his ranch. And Billy Wayne Coble caught Bobby out in the open there and was able to wrestle his service revolver away from him, put it right under his neck, and practically decapitated him when he shot him.
Bill shot and killed your dad that day, and then came back to the house where you were all tied up. The children were tied up.
Right.
Did you notice anything about him at that point that was different?
I remember he kept kind of bragging about how he was going to be on America's Most Wanted. It's a sociopath is what you call it, narcissistic.
By this time, JR's father and grandfather were already dead, but Billy wasn't finished. He went back across the street to the home of JR's grandmother, Zelda.
He waited until Mrs. Vicker had come home from work, and he gunned her down, ambushed her right there. She never knew what happened.
Having savagely murdered 3 members of JR's family, Billy set his sights on his estranged wife Karen, kidnapping her in his car. After a police chase, they crashed and Billy was finally caught. Against the odds, both Billy and Karen survived.
As you look ahead to the date when he may be executed, what goes through your mind?
It will be good to have it over with. We don't feel sorry for him at all. He was, even after the wreck, he was bragging at the hospital to the nurses. Do you know I just killed 3 people?
I'm going to tell you I killed 3 people. Huh? Go quiet. Well, you never believe I do that either. He always chopped his onion.
Why do you think he would say that?
I had no idea.
And he didn't seem to be affected by the fact that he'd just killed your father.
No, he didn't. No. I mean, can't feel sorry for somebody like that.
I've dealt with the criminal justice system for 40 years, and the Coble case was one of the most brutal of any I've ever handled. Frankly, he's a cold-blooded killer. He's evil. And he deserves to die.
Hi, good. Can I prepay for pump 9, please?
Yes, ma'am. How much would you like?
$20?
Okay.
I'm in Huntsville, Texas, a small rural town that's home to America's busiest execution chamber.
How long have you lived in Huntsville?
All my life.
How does it affect Huntsville that it's not just prisons which are here, but you have the whole death chamber?
I don't think the normal citizen of Huntsville pays that much attention to it, really. Just kind of life goes on.
Since the death penalty was reintroduced in 1976, the state of Texas has executed 559 people, and Billy Wayne Coble is set to be next in just 6 days.
Billy Wayne Coble, at age 70, is scheduled to become the oldest man executed in Texas during the modern era of the death penalty.
The murders of Waco police officer Bobby Goodman and his 2 parents rocked the Central Texas community.
In the short time left, those affected by this case are still asking why. On the 29th of August 1989, a day that seemed like any other, Billy ruthlessly murdered his 3 in-laws and then kidnapped his estranged wife, Karen Vicker.
I feel like there are so many unanswered questions about what happened. Do you want to just tell me, Bill, what happened that day?
I love that. And your history with basketball expands beyond 2K. Talk a little bit about your background. You coached, right?
Correct, yes. So I played on the Georgia Tech club basketball team, and now I currently coach that same club basketball team. So honestly, a lot of the plays and a lot of the skills and the tips that I get from playing rec and pro-am, I actually bring that to my coaching. So like when to go 5 out, when to go 2-3, when to go to 3-2. You know, I choose.
Did you love her though?
2K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
Didn't see her again until she was probably about...
Los Angeles, California is the scene for the Thunder. The 6'8" creator, Josh Giddey, makes the...
Never said it before, but it was always said afterwards.
Welcome everyone to the NBA on 2K Sports. Joined by Greg Anthony, Steve Smith. So here's Oklahoma City's starting group. MP is out there with Gilgeous-Alexander. Then it's Williams. Then it's Williams. And it's Hayward in at the small forward. And for the Clippers, down in the block, it'll be Kawhi next to Zubac. Harden out there with Russell Westbrook. And it's Powell in at the 3 spot. Both teams limping, Steve, into this game. It's going to be, we know, a war of attrition.
Kevin, they're trying to wear each other down. These are also the types of matchups where new stars can emerge. Some guys will be getting more minutes. Gotta make the most of them.
The pass to Zubac. Harden outside. Hayward against Powell. Over Hayward. Thunder with the rebound. And this is the first season matchup for them against this Clippers team.
And this game, just the first of 4 meetings between these two. They'll get quite familiar with each other by season's end.
It's the kind of season series that can really make a difference in the standings if one team ends up dominating the other.
Westbrook against Gilgeous-Alexander. Westbrook passes to Leonard. Goes up on the wing. Los Angeles with another miss.
And he's frustrated. That's a shot he can make in his sleep.
And Smitty, we know when it comes to the Clippers, they seem to go as Kawhi Leonard goes.
No doubt, Kevin. The only year they didn't make the playoffs with him, he was hurt. But when he's healthy, they are dangerous.
Here's Powell. And he finishes nicely on the way.
Keeping his balance on the difficult take. Norman Powell is gifted at finishing through physical contact.
MP, no good.
And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there.
Harden's shot is good.
This speaks to Westbrook's high level of awareness. Understands when one of his guys is wide open.
Inside. Here's MP. And he banks in the lane. MP's got 8 points.
And just a solid way to start the game. 4 of 5.
For Los Angeles, they've gone 2 of 5 here, making 40% so far to start out the game. Here's Leonard. Thunder with the rebound. If you're just tuning in, we played about 2.5 minutes here in the first. On the wing, Williams. Floats it up for MP.
Oh, can we get a load of that one? Take that play and put it in the alley-oop textbook, boys.
Perfectly done. You're right. He put it on a platter for him. And stolen by MP. And MP throws it down.
He takes advantage of them in every way possible.
And Greg, he lures them into a trap on the steal, and then bang, straight to the bucket.
Great activity at both ends. Great teamwork as well.
Counted. Harden's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Yeah, you got your shooters and you have your scorers, but James Harden is both.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Thunder. In regard to the Thunder, they had to go through, Greg, a rebuilding process not too long ago.
Yeah, it was a tough couple years, but they had a plan in place and did it the right way. They made some smart signings and created a very balanced roster.
And the Clippers going with a whole new group out there. And a new group in here for the Thunder. Pokusevski's checked in for Williams. Wiggins comes in for Kenrich Williams. Dort, he's checked in for Gordon Hayward. And Josh Giddey's subbed in for Gilgeous Alexander. And stolen by MP. And MP throws it down.
Assisted by... Hey, dunks aren't always for the big fella.
A serious power move from the point.
Burkett just landed in. He wanted to make a statement.
Here's Highland. And again, the Clippers good for 2.
Working against size, he's just crafty enough to carve out some wiggle room.
And that's tough to do from the mid-range because help can come from anywhere, but he beats everyone to the punch.
He's going to put that one in his scrapbook. Insane dunk.
And now they're starting to rub it in, build up a lead, and here we go, baby. It is showtime. On our AT&T 5G Slam Cam, you just saw an explosive highlight. It's out of bounds. The Clippers able to retain possession here.
LA basketball.
There's 53 seconds left here in the first quarter. Beyond the arc.
In building this lead, they've done a terrific job finishing their defensive sequences with the backboard. That has been key.
And yes, it's good. 20 points for MP.
And 10 of their last 12 coming off assists.
Clippers trail by 11. Here's Mann. He has yet to score. Plumlee, the pass to Highland. Driving inside. Good work there as it goes. And it's Oklahoma City's ball. They're on a 14-6 run. Here's MP. And that comes off the assist by Giddey. MP's got 22 points. MP against Highland. The 3. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City. Now, here's MP. And so it's Oklahoma City. Their lead at 11 points to end the quarter. And it's been their rugged defense setting the tone. We've got more in store for you right after this. And well,
there's now just days until Billy Kobo faces
substitution here for the Clippers. Mason Plumlee's checked in for
to spend time with his father.
Zubats. P.J. Tucker comes in for Leonard. Amir Coffey's checked in for Norman Powell. And Bones Highland subbed in for Russell Westbrook. The Thunder also changing it up. Okashevsky's checked in for Williams. Zhang comes in for Gordon Hayward. And MP subbed in for Josh Giddey.
Nearly automatic. Gilgeous-Alexander, no slouch from the line.
Taking a look at the Thunder. The wings, it's Gilgeous-Alexander and Dort. Bo Kushevsky is out there with Zhang. And it's MP in at the point. And the dunk by MP.
That's why you never quit battling on the offensive glass.
And that's a nice reward for his effort. The flush, perfect.
Working hard, beating everyone to the ball. He does this night in and night out.
And the ball goes out of bounds. Touched by MP. I now would send it over to the sidelines and get a report from David Aldridge.
Hey there, Kevin. Kawhi Leonard continuing to work his way back to peak form after his ACL tear during the 2021 playoffs. He said, I missed a whole year of basketball. I don't want to take anything for granted. I'm just trying to live in the moment and bring a sense of energy to the team. I'm still young, I'm a lot stronger, and I'm back. So, I'm happy. Kevin?
Yeah. Good to see, D.A. Hey, thank you.
And that bucket adds to what has been a big difference in points in the paint between the two teams.
They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
And the foul called on MP. That's his first foul. Mann's checked in for the Clippers. Wiggins is checked in for Oklahoma City.
Substitution on the court.
Here's Highland. This game he had 28 points. Mann can't hit.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
You look at the Thunder style of play, very fast-paced.
And because of that, they put up a lot of shots. And their goal really is to overwhelm you and wear you down. Of course, they allow plenty of shot attempts as well.
Los Angeles calls timeout. Greg, isn't it amazing the way Gilgeous-Alexander has polished off his game?
The footwork, Kevin, is impeccable. Three-level scorer, makes every shot imaginable. And what's scary, this guy still has another level to get to.
And a chance now to see how teams are faring across the league. Here's the latest edition of the Power Rankings. You take a look at the Clippers. They've achieved some upward momentum, climbing to the 5th spot on the board.
And right now, the Thunder, they're just so locked in right now. It doesn't matter who they're playing. I know it's still early in the season, but they may turn out to be the team to beat. And you know what? He's just not on his game. No doubt about it. Their deficit isn't totally on him, so he has not been an asset for his team. I'll tell you, it's one thing to do this at home, another to do it in a hostile environment.
They built up this huge league with great play at both ends. They're going to love watching film tomorrow.
Back to Highland. Gilgeous-Alexander with the steal. And the dunk by MP.
And they're getting points. They're getting stops. And this is how they'd like to play all the time.
Yes, when it's going good, it feels easy. These are the nights you relish, but they're tough to replicate.
And those are the kind of nice inside looks they've gotten here in the first half.
Count the basket. That's now 32 points for MP.
Good decisions there from SGA. Tough, though, to miss a guy that open.
He gets it up. And he got that one up in time, but doesn't go in. And so it's the Oklahoma City Thunder finishing the quarter up by a whopping 24 points. From the field, they have been outstanding.
Tied down.
And there wasn't too much drama in the first half, but maybe things will tighten up here in the second. You look at MP in this game, guys, he has been everywhere.
Yeah, and just look at the numbers from the first half. He has been very efficient.
And it's not like everything's been at the rim. There's been a number of jump shots along the way.
Down in the block, it'll be Kawhi next to Zubac. Russell Westbrook out there with Harden, and it's Powell in at the 3 spot. So that's the lineup on the floor for the Clippers. And Greg, when they talk about youth development, the days are gone when coaches divided guards and bigs when it comes to skill work. When did that change?
Here he comes, and there he goes.
Oh, look at him punish that rim. And so Harden will bring it up for the Los Angeles Clippers. They'll be playing host to Portland for their next game. That'll be the second of 5 straight played at home. It's going to be out of bounds. Los Angeles will retain possession.
As the state prepares for Billy Coble's execution, life around here carries on as usual.
So how would you describe...
And here is Los Angeles now. Puts up a 3. That's good, and so Westbrook comes up with the assist. Harden's got 10 points in the game.
And as long as Harden's in the building, he has the confidence he can make it.
MP inside. Guarded by Harden. MP, good.
Just impressive with the teamwork out there, setting the table for one another.
Westbrook up top. Gilgeous Alexander covering. Harden kicks to Leonard. 6 on the shot clock. Harden against MP. Harden missing again.
+8 in the rebound differential. One more reason why they're in control.
See, this current Clippers group, they're changing the identity of this franchise. His 3rd free throw shot of the game.
And he's at nearly 90% from the free throw line this season, so having a terrific year.
And Dort, no good on that one.
Who needs the NBA draft? I mean, Dort worked his way onto the team, into the rotation, and then turned into a key contributor.
Highland's shot is good.
And they've really gotten on track here in the second half. After that shaky start, the field goal percentage steadily climbing. They couldn't make anything in that first break.
Here's MP. He's on target from 8 feet out. MP's got 40 points.
Strong work for him at the offensive end, helping them to maintain that lead.
Ball's not loose and stolen by MP. Here's Williams. Good, and it's MP picking up the assist. And it's a 12-point Oklahoma City lead. LA's gone outside a lot tonight. 17 times, in fact. 7 of 17. 5 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Highland misses. Oklahoma City's gotten a blank from three-point land so far in the third. Still 0 for 3. MP, good.
I don't know what's happening defensively, but they're not putting up any resistance.
Got a piece of it. Williams against Highland. Pass to Leonard. With 1 on the clock, and no luck with that time on the buzzer beater. And so it's the Oklahoma City Thunder with a 14-point lead as we bring the quarter to a close. Well, tonight they've had in terms of their shooting, everything dropping in for them. We'll get right back to the action when we return. And while we can now, let's take a look at today's State Farm assist of the game.
And I'm glad this was the pick because I love this pass. Such a great dish. That's what I call court vision.
Yeah, you also have the location of the pass. Puts it right where it needs to be, where his man can do something with it.
And with the fourth quarter upon us, time is running out for this game to become competitive. And Oklahoma City, looking who they've got to start the fourth quarter. Hayward out there with Williams. Then it's MP. Then it's Williams. And it's Gilgeous Alexander into the 1 spot. Whistle blows. Bucket is good. He'll have a chance at the line to make it a 3-point play. And now we'll get a perspective here on the hustle game. How it's been going for the Thunder.
Their activity has been at a constant level. Always around the ball. Quick hands causing a lot of steals.
and they've really been able to get out in transition and produce. The defense hasn't had an answer for this up-tempo pace.
Westbrook dishes to Harden, and the jam by Harden.
And one of the top scorers in the game, Harden has an innate gift for creating his shots.
From short range, it's hauled in by the Clippers. Harden's got 4 rebounds in this game. He dishes it to Plumlee. He's off on that one. Nice D from Williams. The Thunder leading by 15 to the inside. And the dunk by MP.
Hey, dunks aren't always for the big fella.
A serious power move from the point.
Forget just laying it in. He wanted to make a statement.
Harden kicks the foul. His 3-pointer's off the mark.
And you don't want to give up that kind of look too often.
Williams passes to MP, and the shot goes in. MP's got 46 points.
They're doing a really good job of getting the ball inside and attacking the paint. That's an area they have completely dominated.
Phyllis calls timeout. And the Clippers, one of the more efficient three-point shooting teams, Greg, in the NBA.
And Kevin, really over the last decade, that's been one of their most consistent traits. And it's not just because of talent. They're smart about the shots they take.
Here's Westbrook. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here. That one on Gilgeous-Alexander.
Westbrook is full of energy. He brings so much of it to the floor.
Good on the second free throw. Final quarter of play, about a minute and a half off the clock into it. Outside Williams to the paint. Here's MP, and it's good. Assisting on the play was Williams.
Assisted by
Williams has got his 5th assist in this one.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
Westbrook feeling it out a bit. It's Powell with the drive. Tries again. Thunder with the rebound.
Great defensive effort. Just save a basket.
You know what? This is why you never give up on a play. You don't know what's going to happen. Dominating when it matters most. Give him the ball and get out of the way.
And so it's Harden bringing it up for Los Angeles. And again.
And he's up to 52 points.
Yeah, making a GA look all too easy right now. Knocks it loose. And stolen by MP. And another one falls.
And this game has his name written all over it.
Greg, he's been phenomenal in offensive onslaught. Kawhi Leonard's checked in for Mason Plumlee. Here we are looking around the NBA. Greg, it feels like there's more parity amongst teams than ever before.
No dominant team has been the favorite every year, and that can all change, though, in a heartbeat. Every so often, a dynasty can be born out of nothing. They just won't miss. I mean, this is incredible.
Good shooting can be contagious. You see the confidence running through this team.
So they can be closer to him, Billy's family is spending time at the Hospitality House, a charity.
And as we head to the final buzzer here, a crushing blowout, big-time dominance, and this will go in the record books as a gaudy win for Oklahoma City.
This was a team performing to its fullest capability.
A hugely satisfying win, a game that not many will soon forget, and on the other side, one that I think most will try to forget.
And I think a great job in positioning themselves for the W here. It's win number 21 on the season.
And against a conference opponent, always good to take that first win of the season series to establish a psychological edge.
And you know, when you look at the huge impact he had, just a monster game for MP.
You have to focus on the steals he came up with. They were huge factors in the end result.
Good, that's another bucket.
Make that 61 points.
Yep, everything is going his way right now. Over to the wing. Here's Mann. Nailed from three-point land.
Their ability, again, to stretch the floor, particularly in this second half.
This was obviously a focal point coming out of the break. Look smart when the shots are going down.
Yep, that one goes in there. 63 points for MP.
Taking no chances. They go on one last run to seal the deal.
Not messing around at all. They were focused, relentless, and they got the job done.
And the Thunder with the possession here. To the middle. Up and in on the layup.
They just blocked out the noise, kept on grinding, and this is their reward.
And guess what? It's going to be a fun flight home. Total team effort. Big win on the road.
And the foul called on MP.
Number 27.
So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus. We'll go to the line to shoot two. First free throw is good.
Line for your quiz. To the stripe, Terrence Mann.
So he gets them both. Time called here. The Thunder decide to talk it over. They're leading by 32. Just 2 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
And the game pretty much over. Curious timeout here.
In my opinion, I think they're looking to make a substitution. But let's see out of the timeout.
And now let's present our New Balance player of the game.
And Kevin, it's a no-brainer. He's controlled every aspect of this game, and it's just so fun to see a player perform at a level that's just higher than anyone else out on the floor.
He silenced this crowd with an unreal display. His ability to drown out the noise and the hostility of an opposing crowd is pretty special. So no problem for Oklahoma City as they get the win. A resounding victory for them. And Greg in enemy territory, no less.
That's exactly right. But with the way they control the game and just completely took the crowd out of it, that's how to get it done on the road.
And that about wraps it up. For Steve Smith, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thank you.
Whatever it is that's on the menu for today at this unit. We're in constant communication with the courts and the governor's office. At some point, once we receive the sign-off that all the appeals have been exhausted, then the process would begin. The death warrant's active at 6 p.m.
It's just coming up to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and the US Supreme Court has just posted on their website the application for stay of execution of sentence of death is denied. That was Billy Coble's last chance, and it's gone, which means he will be executed in just over an hour's time. Police officers and veterans have come to salute the family of their murdered colleague, Bobby Vicker. What is significant for you about being executed?
Watch look like Jackson makes his post up be blue. She know it's 2 seats, so she leave her best friend. Bust out my dad thinks your chain is a Time has now run out for Billy Wayne. The Coble family are called in for his final moments. By 6 p.m. the death warrant is active. Between now and midnight, Billy Coble is set to die. And someone that I've met, someone that I've had an encounter with, is being put to their death.
At the last minute in the execution of Billy Coble. We'll get back to you with more on that as soon as we know more.
The lethal injection injection of pentobarbital should now be taking effect.
What's up, This is what they did to me. They kicked me in the head and beat me up. They got me in fucking cuffs. They kicked me in the head. I'm fucking sick of it.
Excuse me, sir, has the execution gone ahead?
Yeah.
Okay. We don't know what happened inside. Clearly there's been some kind of confrontation. Gordon and his son Dalton have been handcuffed and led away shouting, screaming, extremely distressed, and Nelly also in handcuffs.
Talking like he was a fucking piece of trash.
Nelly, what's happened?
Drug my kid, called him on the back, drug caught him with a hoodie.
Gordon was finding it very hard, anticipating the execution of his father, but I wasn't expecting that. Obviously something went terribly wrong in there for the Cobra family.
The state of Texas has executed Billy Coble, inmate number 976. He did provide a final statement. Yes, sir, that would be $5. I love you, and I love you. Take care. Any questions?
Why was Gordon led away?
There was a disturbance. Gordon Coble started banging on the glass and had to be removed. I can share with you that both Gordon and Dalton Coble are currently in custody at the Walker County Jail and will be charged with resisting arrest and potentially other charges.
Coble met his fate by lethal injection, pronounced dead at 6:24 p.m. Karen Vicker was inside to witness Billy Wayne Coble take his last breath.
We ask that just as you have kept us in your prayers, you pray for peace for everyone affected today. While we grieve the amazing lives that were lost too soon, we find joy in the blessings and love we have in our family.
Nelly, it's Susanna. What's happening? Its doors, and it's on with another day. The execution of one man, the ending of his life, just a fact of life here, and there'll be another one next month.
Just like talking to him like we'd be talking all day. He didn't show no beard, no chain, no walls, nothing. And he said, you may not understand yet,
doesn't change what happened. But knowing that he finally got what he deserved, that would be a good feeling.
So, it's the playoffs. What brings you two in here today? Do you really have to ask?
Patrick Murphy is condemned to die for murder.
He is scheduled to be executed at this hour tomorrow. Certainly one of the most violent acts exacted upon the conception.
But he didn't pull the trigger. Did you kill the police officer? In Texas, though, it doesn't matter.
If you were going to ride a scenario of appropriate for the government, it would be this.
I'll be with Patrick's son.
That's right, you still live like an outlaw. It's not.
The victim's family.
I don't have any sympathy. I think he deserves to die.
As they prepare for his final hours.
When this murderer is put to death, there will be closure for our officers.
In this countdown to his execution.
And what's the outcome?
The last living members of the Freedom Patrol's group of former fugitives is scheduled to be executed. Patrick Murphy is one of the Texas 7 prison escapees.
This is a journey to a possibly placed maximum security prison where there are men being held who know that they're facing a sentence of death.
I'm meeting Patrick Murphy, one of America's most notorious fugitives, convicted of killing a police officer during an armed robbery.
I just wonder what he's thinking. Whether he thinks he deserves his punishment, or asked forgiveness. His thoughts are on the years and years that he spent in prison. Hello, I'm Susanna.
We're rolling. Got you starting at 218. You got to do it 318.
Patrick Murphy,
Yes, ma'am.
what do you think has led you here? What do you think got you to this position?
A lot of very poor choices that I made. And basically, we all have a choice to do one thing or another. It's just I have made the wrong choices almost every time, several times. So, then basically, I screwed up.
With the most devastating consequences, not just for the police officer whose life was lost,
Yes, ma'am.
but for you, because you faced losing your life as well. Why were you involved in armed robberies?
Well, we had just escaped from prison, and we were trying to get some more money. 7 prisoners in the final unit in San Antonio overpower civilian workers and a guard to escape.
On December the 13th, 2000, Patrick joined 6 other men in one of the biggest jailbreaks in American history. Already a long-term prisoner, this crucial decision sealed his fate.
Because not every prisoner has the same type of conversation. If you could escape, what would you do?
They were all doing lengthy prison sentences for violent crimes.
They overpowered the guards and locked them in a pallet.
They still program how they drop 16 firearms to address the civilians and otherwise put them back in the truck.
All they needed to do now was drive out of the prison gates.
Pretty nervous, and we didn't know if anybody was
Yes, ma'am. We drove into town where another vehicle was waiting for us, and then they were able to switch cars and get away quickly. So I had no idea.
The public is helping us the most. We've had sightings Colorado, Texas, South Texas, just all over. At this point, keep them coming in.
After days on the run, they became known as the Texas 7. You had a successful escape, and then you went on an armed robbery spree. Did you rehearse the robberies?
We practiced how to stand instead of pointing a pistol at the victim. We would either hold it up in the air or in a threatening manner like so, or down our side. This way, if someone tried to rush us, the pistol wouldn't go off accidentally. Understand what I'm saying?
On Christmas Eve, the Texas 7 targeted Oshman's sporting goods store in Irving. Just a few hundred meters away, Officer Aubrey Hawkins was having Christmas dinner with his family.
How was it? Caring man, an honest man, a loving father. He always loved helping people. That was Aubrey.
At 6:26 p.m., 911 received a report of a disturbance at Oshman's. Aubrey was on the scene within 3 minutes.
Patrick Murphy's role was to be the lookout, which his code name was Guardian Angel. He was listening to the Irving police calls, and immediately told them that Irving had dispatched a police officer. My position was out in front of the store. It was, I'd say almost 100 yards away. And the incident occurred behind the store in the loading rack area.
So this is was the back of Oshman's. This was completely vacant, and as the defendants are coming out of the back of
That
the
was
store,
good for sure.
with all of the goods, the camping supplies, the guns, Officer Hawkins pulls in here.
When he drove up there, George Rivas was acting as security guard, and he signaled Officer Hawkins over. When he got close to him, they opened fire.
Sephora at Kohl's has top beauty brands. Shop one of our 900 plus stores and at Kohl's.com today.
Five different weapons fired into the vehicle. He was hit 11 times, several times in the head, in his bulletproof vest. And he was killed instantly by a barrage of gunfire.
He drove his body out of the car. He drove over, trying to get away. But they took the time to take his gun.
Certainly one of the most violent acts that can be exacted upon a police officer.
I couldn't even begin to figure out how I was going to break the news to Andrew. And he was devastated. Andrew was lucky he couldn't have had a better father, and it's sad that he lost that. It kills me for him. He didn't deserve this, and I feel bad. I feel sorry for everything he missed and everything Andrew missed.
Did you kill the police officer?
No, I'm not a shooter. I was a getaway driver. I didn't know what shots had been fired for 10 to 15 minutes.
He was shot 11 times. He was also run over.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if you were the getaway driver, were you driving the car that went over Aubrey Hawkins' body?
No, ma'am. I was not.
Do you know who shot Aubrey Hawkins, the police officer?
No, ma'am, I don't. Because I was not there.
You must have known that if you're going out to rob stores and individuals and your group is armed with guns, that someone's at risk of getting hurt or shot or at worst killed.
That's, I'm not real sure how to answer that. I mean, you expect to get away with the crime, but you hopefully it doesn't escalate to a shooting incident. It was never in the plan
kill somebody.
Didn't turn out that way, did it?
No, it did not. I'm very, very unfortunate that it did not. I'm sorry that Aubrey Hawkins died. I regret my involvement in it. Deeply regret my involvement in it.
Even amongst those who strongly support the death penalty, there are people who do not think that Patrick Murphy deserves to die. He didn't shoot the gun, and he wasn't a major participant of the armed robbery which ended in Aubrey Hawkins' death. But here in Texas, that doesn't matter. As an accomplice, you can still be found guilty of murder. And in just 36 days, Patrick Murphy will be executed.
The newest 100 overall card is now live in my team.
Introducing the four-time MVP, the four-time NBA champion, and the only player to eclipse 40,000 points in the NBA, LeBron James.
And those are the starting lineups, so kick back, get your popcorn ready. We'll be back in just a moment.
Number 27.
It's the NBA on 2. Here are the starters for Utah. Collins and Kessler playing up front. Chris Dunn is out there with Colin Sexton. And it's Markkanen in at the 3, small forward. And for the Thunder, MP is out there with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Then there's Gordon Hayward. Then it's Chet Holmgren. And it's Williams in at the 4 slot. All right, Grant, as a team, how long do you think it takes to figure out if you're a legitimate contender?
You know, D.A., a lot of teams come into the season thinking they are contenders. And they have to find out the hard way that, quite honestly, they're just not. But generally, I'd say you have a good idea after the first month or so of the year.
Here's Collins, following the bucket by the Thunder. All sorts of time. Here's Kessler, shoots over Holmgren, and he got the whistle on the way up. So he'll be headed to the line for a pair.
I like that. I mean, some physical play inside. He's not about to give up any easy baskets.
And Grant, when you scan the OKC roster, you see length at every position.
Yeah, it's definitely their philosophy, BA. We're seeing a number of franchises going that route. What I would say about the Thunder, though, many of their guys still have some strength to add.
Well, you can see how dialed in Gordon Hayward can be. When he's on his game, the vision is exceptional.
First quarter of play, a minute in. Kessler passes to Dunn. Back to Kessler. Perfect pass to set up the lay-in.
Yeah, that's just a nice pass. This was one of college basketball's premier playmakers, Dunn showing great vision.
Hayward outside. Pass to MP. That's in. Coming off an assist from Hayward. MP's got 6 points.
Just taking it right to the rim, and no one was there to greet him.
I think defensively, that is not the way you want to start. Giving up high percentage looks, that doesn't typically end well.
Now here's Kessler. Checking his numbers, he's put up a little over 9 points a game. Count it.
I want to see Markkanen become more aggressive in these instances. Be ready to fire as soon as you make the catch.
Pass to MP. He's got it. 4 for 4 now. He's automatic.
He still hasn't missed. 4 for 4 to start the game.
Collins with it. Collins drawing the double team. And it's Sexton. That time on the assist by Collins.
You love this. The pressure gets physical, and Colin Sexton doesn't blink. Nice job finishing through contact.
To the paint. And stolen by Sexton. Here in the first, just under 2.5 minutes played so far. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Williams. Collins outside. Markkanen outside. Fires for 3. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City. This game against Utah, the first time they've met this year.
Yeah, they beat this team in the season series last year. But what's that really saying?
And the shot goes in.
I'll tell you, the team is simply riding the hot hand. This guy has been lights out.
And so it's Sexton who brings up the ball for Utah. Trailing by 2. Tough loss coming against San Antonio in their last game.
It's simple. Your defense has to be razor sharp on the road. You really want to take the crowd out of the game. Easier said than done.
I'll tell you this, it looked like they wanted to get out of town as quickly as possible. The problem is their defense went with them.
That's 10 straight points they've given up in the painted area.
The Jazz have gone just 3 for 7 here at the start. Timeout called, the Jazz. Well, Grant, it's been fun to watch Kenrich have his tools and come into his own a little bit.
Yeah, B.A. much improved since coming into the league. Williams has the ability to score outside the arc and inside the perimeter.
A lot.
So far, they've rushed 9 unsuccessful runs. This has just arrived on the final attempt.
The Thunder shooting a legendary 79%. Their offense is just on a tear. So the Utah 5 right now. Collins and Kessler playing up front. Chris Dunn is out there with George. And it's Sexton in at the small forward position. Utah trailing here. George, right side. George draws the double. Sexton with it. Guarded now by Williams. It's George on the wing. Oh, my. Came close to a 4-point play. He'll head to the line for 3 free throws.
And for a rookie, George is physically mature. He doesn't mind the contact at all.
And the Thunder making a change here. Hayward's checked in. When it comes to the Utah Jazz, it's evident that they are in rebuild mode now.
Yeah, you know, B.A., after trading away both Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell in the summer of 22, the Jazz are focused on starting new and building a team with young talent.
And for Utah, they're shooting a nice 50% for the game. Sexton passes to Kessler. Sexton up top. He's covered by Holmgren. And here comes the break. Pass to Hayward. Back to MP. That's in. Coming off an assist from Hayward. Hayward's got 4 assists now tonight.
Strong pass there to set up the basket.
Here's Sexton. He's coming off a 19-point game against the Spurs in San Antonio. Here's MP. He gets it in there. MP's got 8 points here in the quarter.
He's getting it done offensively, making winning plays at every turn.
Ooh, poked away. Stolen by MP. And he drives in. Oh, and the dunk by MP.
As of this moment, they look absolutely unstoppable.
Boy, it looks like their confidence is at an all-time high, just feeding off each other right now.
Now here's Kessler. 11 points for him last game against the Spurs in San Antonio.
And don't make a mistake, the 3 blocks had a huge impact on the game as well. It really turned the game in their favor.
To end the run, and he was camped in the lane there. He gets a 3-second call. A look at how All-Star voting is going thus far.
And so much fun to see the tallies start to come in. See how things start to look.
You look at MP, he leads the West in voting.
And that's no shock. Always one of the players that the fans love to see.
And keep checking in for the latest in All-Star voting results. Inside. Tries from 6 feet. And it's Oklahoma City scoring again.
D hasn't been quick enough to react to the ball inside. That's helped cause this run.
Outside Sexton. Oh, MP with a block. And it's out of bounds. Still Utah's ball. All right, the Jazz making a change here. Morton Tucker's checked in. And Utah calls time here. Well, Grant, we saw a lot of lower seeds winning series in last year's playoffs. Is the regular season losing importance?
You know, B.A., there's greater parity, which means less separation in the league, especially between the top seeds and the bottom seeds. But still, the league needs to make sure regular season games do matter.
Now here's Collins. No made baskets yet. It's George on the wing. Clock at 6. The Jazz need to get one up in a hurry. Unloads. The Thunder pull it in.
Yeah, they just can't seem to end the drought no matter where they shoot it from.
And I think you can start to feel their frustration mounting. With every missed bucket, it becomes more and more desperate.
To the middle. Here's Collins. And Collins with the slam.
Whoa! Did you see that? John Collins. A little bit of sauce on that slam.
Once again, an explosive highlight on the AT&T 5G Slam Cam. Oh, and the dunk by MP.
You could just see how sick they were there.
That's what it takes to pull that off. For Utah, they've got nothing to go out of 5 attempts so far this quarter. Kessler up top. He's covered by Holmgren.
Third foul of the half, and that's the risk you take leaving him out there.
Giddy. And so it's the Oklahoma City Thunder.
44. The Jazz, 33.
One of the unusual things about the Texas case, Patrick Murphy comes on the scene and
Just about ready for the second half here. A big comeback is needed for this game to be competitive, and it probably has to happen quickly. The Thunder shooting 71%. Their offense has looked unstoppable all game long. Kenrich Williams is out there with Gordon Hayward. Then there's Holmgren. Then it's MP. And it's Gilgeous-Alexander in at the 1. That's the lineup for Oklahoma City. On offense, here's Utah. It's a 13-point game. Hey, you look at some of the young star power on OKC. Grant, they haven't had that since the Kevin Durant years.
Oh, B.A., I mean, those KD teams were built through the draft. So no matter where they're picking, the Thunder seem to uncover gems.
And so it's Utah with it after the basket by Oklahoma City. Here's Kessler. Rejected by Holmgren.
Wow, I mean, the 7'6" wingspan coming in handy. Holmgren loves swatting away shots just like this.
Just 5 to shoot. Here's Markkanen. And he gets that one.
This guy is a pick-your-poison kind of player. Very hard defensively to cover all your bases with him.
MP. And MP throws it down.
Oh, excellent way to add the lead.
Yeah, especially when it's your one throwing it down like that.
That's got to be a little bit deflating to the defense, guys. Getting kicked when you're down. My goodness.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Allie LaForce.
Well, Lauri Markkanen has become the go-to scorer for the Jazz. Coach Will Hardy said, quote, "It's not easy going from being a role player to being the guy. There's an emotional part of being counted on like this, and he's handled it very well. To have the evolution that he has had is something that he should be very, very proud of." Brian?
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Allie. Good stuff there. Here's Sexton following the bucket by the Thunder. Fires the 3. On target from range. Sexton's got 5 points.
A nice start to the third. 3 out of 4 and looking good doing it.
Here's MP. Oh, and the dunk by MP.
Slams it down with 2 hands.
Man, they're really getting aggressive now. And now around 2 minutes gone by in this half. Markkanen, the pass to Collins. Pass to Markkanen. And the officials will call the illegal screen here. And as this season starts to unfold, the rookies who have come out of the gates fast. Some first-year guys proving they belong in the NBA. You look at MP, what an incredible start to his rookie season. Sitting in the #1 spot right now, but I'm sure this will be an exciting rookie race.
And you know his confidence must be soaring, sitting at the top of this impressive list of young talent.
Well, he has wasted no time making his presence felt and is setting a very high standard for this year's rookie class.
A little over 2.5 minutes off the clock in this final half of play. Good D by Kessler. Back to Dunn. To Collins. Now Sexton. And another miss by Utah. You know, when analyzing the game of Colin Sexton, this is a guy who can score from all three levels, Greg.
So this is what his team has asked him to do, to be aggressive on offense and to shoot the ball with confidence too, BA.
Out of bounds, the Oklahoma City's ball. Giddy's checked in for MP. Done with it. Stolen by MP. And Utah looking at who they've got to start the fourth. Collins and Kessler playing up front. George out there with Chris Dunn. And it's Sexton in at the three. And taking a quick look here at the hustle stats for the Thunder.
You have to be a fan of the energy they played with on the defensive end. Active hands and feet. And it's come up big a few times for them.
And also, guys, the tenacity they've shown on the defensive end has been something else. Look at how many blocks they've tallied thus far.
And so it's Oklahoma City with it. After the basket by Utah, MP shot is good.
Well, you love that they've been able to rely on this time and time again. You love the effort here late.
Stolen by MP. Driving it.
Oh, wow. Now, I know he makes it look easy, but it takes incredible physical tools to pull that off.
Athleticism and explosion. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by MP.
After he was caught, his father decided he wanted to meet Patrick for the first time.
Fourth quarter of basketball. We're about a minute into it. Kessler passes to Dunn. Sexton with it from the arc. Goes back up. And the layup is up and in.
A tremendous athlete. Collins showing his quickness to the ball and taking advantage of the second chance opportunity.
Here's MP. That one's good. And so Gilgeous-Alexander with the assist. Gilgeous-Alexander's got 8 assists in the game. For Utah, they've gone 2 of 3 to open the fourth quarter. It's stolen by MP. And there's another one for the Thunder.
Well, they're just riding the hot hand down the stretch, and he's been in the zone all night.
Tipped away. It's stolen by MP. Counted. MP's got 48.
Their offense has been unstoppable, just firing on all cylinders.
And at this point, it is their game to lose. They've done such a good job building the lead.
Time moves real fast.
Hayward, the pass to MP. Another bucket! Wow!
My goodness, 50 for the game.
Just putting on a show. Utah shooting at a 48% clip from the floor. Up top, Collins. Fourth quarter play. We're about 2.5 minutes through it now. Kessler, no good.
Boy, 9 times out of 10, that's going in. I'm sure he surprised himself with the miss.
Down low. Here's MP. Yet another bucket.
That's 52 points for him.
Making it all look too easy right now. They desperately want to stop this run.
Might be time to switch things up. Try a new play call or something.
Pass to George. Driving to the basket. Holmgren with the block.
You love that Holmgren likes to send it back. Use that wingspan to full effect.
As of this moment, they look absolutely unstoppable.
Boy, it looks like their confidence is at an all-time high, just feeding off each other right now.
Now here's Sexton. George outside. And the foul called on Chet Holmgren. That's foul number 2 for him. Endorsed for the first time in league history. Players can now own minority shares in NBA and WNBA teams.
NBA, obviously, this is groundbreaking in terms of the context of American sports. No other league allows for this. I am really excited to see how it plays out.
Oklahoma City shooting 71%. Their offense has looked unstoppable all game long.
Doing more work in the painted area. He has really excelled inside.
Kessler up top.
50-year sentence.
A little over 3.5 minutes in the books now in this fourth quarter. And there's the rejection.
Excellent anticipation by Luke Dort to get his hands on that one. Gosh, this guy is relentless on that end.
A different look for Oklahoma City. Wiggins, he's checked in for Pokashevsky, and Joe's subbed in for Dort. Now here's Clarkson. Shot clock at 6. Here's Horton Tucker. Good.
And let's face it, this one was never really in question. They came out with purpose and just overwhelmed the opposition. A great win for the Thunder.
And the disparity in the talent was obvious by the end. Sometimes you just don't have enough ammunition to compete.
Yeah, NBA, just a total beatdown. And the next time these teams meet, I can't imagine it'll be any different.
Looking at this year so far, this will make 22 wins for them.
And against a familiar opponent, it's nice to establish a psychological advantage with a win in the first game.
And as it was happening, as it was building, you knew this was a monster game for MP.
Well, I think his contribution clearly came at the defensive end, right? He came up with a bunch of huge steals. He was a menace all night long.
Knocked away. He swipes the ball away again.
Gotta be careful around him.
Man, he's been incredible at coming up with steals.
The officials were right on top of that one.
And Doris, when the Utah Jazz traded away Rudy Gobert, some question if it was the right move.
Well, some may have questioned it, but I believe it was correct. They had maximized that roster and hadn't gotten to where they wanted to go. You get 4 unprotected picks and a pick swap, that sets them up nicely for the future. I love to see point guards rebound the basketball. Sexton has the kind of vertical to allow him to keep possessions alive.
Here's MP. Count the basket.
Finishing the game strong. This is how you shut the door on any hopes of a comeback.
No question. They've got hot at exactly the right time. Clutch play on a team level.
3-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Back to Sexton. Parked it down low that time. Got hit with the 3-second call.
Ooh, talk about a way to deflate the team.
And so it's the Thunder taking care of business in this one. They didn't have too many problems tonight.
They didn't. Just a tremendous team effort. Once they had that big lead, they were not going to let the visitors back into the game.
And that'll do it, folks. For Allie LaForce, Doris Burke, and Grant Hill, this is Brian Anderson alongside our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for watching. We'll see you next time.
That's probably one of the few things that I truly do regret. I'm at peace with what may happen.
Are you frightened?
Legends on 3, 2, 1.
Some degree or another. But at the same time, I'm at peace with it.
Thank you. Best wishes.
And they even got enough change in the meter. Double part like bang in the beater. Her friend keep helping detangle the weave. Only jump in the front seat to play with the speakers. Let them might dance, touch them might dance. Husband I stop them might customize bands. Plus I got them up plus size. And I'm every truck I hop out the roof. Yeah, right on my left wrist and she got the flu. Yeah, watch look like Chex Mix is supposed to be blue. She knows it's too.
He was one of the Texas 7. Murphy believes that his life should be spared.
I'm driving into Huntsville, and this evening, Patrick Murphy will be put to death for his part in the murder of a police officer 19 years ago. By Texas law, the death warrant becomes active at 6 p.m. Barring a last-minute stay from the Supreme Court or the state governor, Patrick will die tonight. It's a very odd experience to be driving towards the execution of a man who I've only recently sat down and spoken to. And I think that he must have had a very weird evening yesterday, putting his things in order, perhaps speaking to his supporters. Patrick's son has arrived to witness the execution. He met his father for the fourth and final time this morning. How are you doing? Sorry, we're not meeting under better circumstances.
Circumstances fine.
video.
It's a little different.
Did you see your dad for phone this morning?
About an hour.
How did that go? Did he seem anxious or scared when you saw him this morning?
Well, we just sit around and joke. It wasn't a sad, somber event or nothing like that. I mean, it was just business as usual.
You going to watch your father go this evening?
Yes, I am.
It's going to be a hard thing to see, isn't it?
You know, I've been a paramedic and firefighter for 20 years, and I've seen it happen enough times that even in some of my own family, I don't think it's going to be any harder than the rest of them. But in my mind, it will be the closure. I'll know it's over, and that's what I want at this point in time. I want it to be over with.
And how do you think you'll feel afterwards?
I think I'll feel relieved.
I mean, you've just seen him this morning and he's due to be executed around 6 o'clock this evening.
I mean, I'm in a constant state of conflict on it. I'll admit that. One half of me is, you know, he is your father, and this and another. Another half of him is, you know, he's a hardened criminal. And you chose to live like an outlaw, and now you get to die like one.
With just a few hours to go, supporters of both the victim and the prisoner gather outside the walls unit. It's very odd that he is sitting just the other side of this wall in a holding cell, just a few feet away from the death chamber, waiting to find out if the Supreme Court will allow him a little bit more life. Patrick's final 24 hours are recorded.
This is something called Death Watch, and it happens to every prisoner who faces execution. This is his last day before he's going to be executed at 6 o'clock in the evening. There's not much that's special about this. He's sitting on the bunk for an hour, sitting on the bunk writing, then he goes to have a shower, sitting on the bunk with headphones. I mean, it is surprisingly mundane.
Everything from sleeping, sitting, reading a book, writing letters, those are all common entries.
At 3:45 this morning, the day of his execution, he was sitting on the floor cleaning his cupboard. It's important to do some cleaning on your last day alive.
Well, when they leave the Polanski, they take all of their property with them, and it's gathered with them, and they call them chain bags, the same bags that offenders who are released from prison are released with their property in. Only it's transported here, and it's back there now. All of that property is back there now.
And who will that property go to?
It's claimed by one of his family members.
And what's the latest? Still waiting on the Supreme Court and the governor. No word from either.
The family of Aubrey Hawkins decided not to come, but his fellow officers await news of the execution.
Did you know Aubrey Hawkins?
He was a great young officer, full of life, loved doing the job, and it's incredibly sad he was taken from us. So we all feel it. We're a brother now. That's the truth.
And it hurts when one of them is ripped from you.
It does. This has been going on for years. So we're anxious about it. And when somebody is put to death, it'll be closure for our officers.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you guys?
Yeah, really good. Tell me what you're hoping will happen.
We're hoping that Patrick's life gets spared.
It's hard though, isn't it, when Aubrey Hawkins' family want this as justice for the father, for the husband that was taken from them.
As the governor of California pointed out, we do not rape the rapists. We do not steal from thieves. What gives us the right to kill someone who murdered? And we're better than that. We should, as a society, be better than that.
was a bit nervous laughter. He talked about how he thought that he had eaten too much in the last couple of weeks. He had splurged on commissary. Talked about how he may want to write something as a final statement, either in addition to or in lieu of actually speaking. But beyond that, it's pretty typical.
So if all else fails, what happens to him in the next few minutes?
When that word comes from the Attorney General of Texas and the Governor of Texas that there are no pending appeals and there is no issuance of clemency or a stay from the Governor's office, then we'll proceed with the process, which is essentially letting Mr. Murphy know that it's time, and he walks the few feet from the cell, that is his holding cell, to the death chamber itself, and the process proceeds from there.
Patrick will die by lethal injection. The main drug used, pentobarbital, is a powerful sedative that slows down electrical activity in the brain and nerve cells until it causes death. It can take up to an hour to do its job. Outside the death chamber, everyone waits on news from the coroner.
You know what's going on?
No, there's no news yet.
No news. They don't know. They're from England.
It's now almost 2 hours since the execution warrant for Patrick Murphy became active, and everyone here is just waiting around to hear what's going to happen. The state of Texas has until midnight to carry out Patrick's execution. So everyone's going, doesn't it? Yeah, look, everyone's... I've just got the information here from the Supreme Court. It says the application for a stay of execution is granted. The state may not carry out Murphy's execution. They cannot kill Patrick Murphy unless that Buddhist spiritual advisor is in there with him. You must be enormously relieved.
We are elated. What can I say? The Supreme Court said to either execute him tonight with a Buddhist priest or not at all.
Just calling Patrick's son. Patrick, it's Susanna Reid. What do you make of the stay of execution? Patrick, we're at Huntsville now, but we'd like to come and see you. Is there a chance of seeing you this evening? Thank you, Patrick.
Reached today about a Supreme Court decision to block the execution once the stay is lifted. A Dallas County judge here must set a new date, which would be a minimum 30 days away. Most experts believe this decision will only buy Murphy a few more months.
Patrick? Hey, how you doing?
All right, I guess.
Come out, have a chat. I'm not quite sure whether you'll be furious or a little bit relieved.
I'm a little bit more towards the furious side of life right now, to be honest with you.
Anyone listening to you without knowing who you are would expect you to be a member of the victim's family, but you're the offender's son, and you still feel this strongly.
I still feel this way, yes ma'am.
That he should die.
From a family perspective, you know, he called my son today and they said their goodbyes. And now they tore him apart. So not only do you have to go through that today, in 100-something days from now, he could be going through that again. The only thing that I wanted left was I wanted the ability to be able to shake my father's hand, whether he was alive or dead. I mean, here I am, I'm almost 40 years old, I've never shaken my father's hand.
In a way, Patrick is victims of his father's crime. And like the other victims in this case, tonight should have been a form of closure. And now they don't know when that's going to happen.
There ain't no grave can hold my body down. Ready for it to be over. I'm on the rise right out of the ground. Ain't no good at the same time. Can hold my body down. There's a part that's not ready for it to be over either. There ain't no grave can hold my body down. I feel that I've really screwed up this life. Okay. My belief in reincarnation now kind of look forward to the next one. Hopefully it'll be better. There ain't no
Less than a week before he was set to receive a lethal injection, one of the Texas 7 prison escapees has been given a stay of execution. Patrick Murphy was convicted for the 2000 murder of Irving police officer Aubrey Hawkins. Murphy is arguing that the Texas Department of Criminal Justice discriminates against some religions. This is the second time his execution has now been halted. The Supreme Court intervened back in April after Murphy was denied having a Buddhist advisor in the death chamber. After that, the state moved to ban all spiritual advisors.
Tonight, a man on death row speaks with KSAT.
Patrick Murphy is one of the last 2 men from the infamous Texas 7, a group of prisoners who escaped from the Conley unit in South Texas almost 23 years ago.
You're about to get a glimpse into what was supposed to be his last day alive. Patrick Murphy tells our Erica Hernandez he's at peace, and he thinks his next execution date will be his last.
At the time, I was probably as prepared as I could have been, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually prepared to take and step into my next life.
March 28th, 2019 is a day Patrick Murphy remembers very well. Because of the law parties, Murphy was given the death penalty after escaping the Texas Conley unit and for participating in the murder of Irving police officer Aubrey Hawkins in December 2000.
The assistant warden, as we left Pulaski, turned around and says, "Murphy, what's your chances like today?" I told him, I said, "You're thin, really thin." And he says, "Well, that issue with the minister is not going to fly." And I said, "Yes, sir."
Murphy had requested to have a Buddhist spiritual leader in the execution room with him, but the Texas Department of Criminal Justice declined his request. His attorneys made a last effort to have his execution halted and argued his religious rights were violated.
At 5 o'clock, they come and they take the phone, they take the food, and from then on, it was waiting. Because they're supposed to start the execution at 6 o'clock.
For 4 hours, Murphy waited, and then the assistant warden came in to tell him a stay of execution had been granted.
I spent 4 hours looking to excuse me. I spent 4 hours looking into the valley of the shadow of death. And I stepped back from it. I was very shy. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to act. I was relieved, but like I said, at the same time, I was kind of disappointed.
8 months later, another execution date was given, but again it was halted. A judge ruled that Murphy had demonstrated valid concerns about TDCJ's execution policy. Almost 5 years later, and Murphy hasn't been given a new date.
Pretty much of the opinion that if I did get a third date, it'll probably
Murphy says he isn't looking for forgiveness, but says being a part of the Texas 7 is a decision he regrets every day.
I made some real terrible mistakes.
KSAT 2 News.
Keep up to date with all of San Antonio's top news and weather.
We continue now our Texas Crime Story series on the Texas 7. At 5 o'clock, we spoke about the brazen escape and how they were caught.
Erica Hernandez recently went to Livingston, Texas, where those on death row are housed in the Pulaski unit. More than 2 decades later, one of the last surviving members of the Texas 7, Patrick Murphy, speaks about that daring escape and why he believes he should not be on death row.
Since 2004,
Texas 7, Patrick Murphy speaks about that daring escape and why he believes he should.
A man in San Antonio was having trouble with the Frost Bank.
Relationships changing, got within the prison, there's a special needs. Them late nights I was lonely and full of pain. They say it's pouring when it rains.
My visits is no longer.
I'm dropping 60, but still don't feel like I'm Dame. The devil in my lane, he want the leader of the game. Drop down on my knees.
One of the 2 surviving members of the notorious notorious Texas 7 prison escapees might receive a new trial. That's the recommendation of the Tarrant County District Attorney. She says the trial judge made anti-Semitic remarks with Biden. It's in the minds of many North Texas convicted of murdering Jaron Wilson recommends a new trial for death row inmate Randy Halpern, one of the Texas 7 prison escapees convicted of murdering Irving police officer Aubrey Hawkins. The opinion cites new evidence supporting the argument that Judge Vickers,
the last living members of a pretty notorious group of former fugitives, is scheduled to be executed tomorrow. Patrick Murphy is his name. He was one of the Texas 7 prison escapees convicted for the murder of an Irving police officer. This is nearly 20 years ago now. Murphy believes that his life should be spared. He took time to give his last interview before entering the death chamber. To our J.D. Miles. State tonight executed one of the notorious Texas 7. Joseph Garcia was among the 7 inmates who escaped a prison outside San Antonio 18 years ago, and as we all recall, killed an Irving police officer. Aubrey Hawkins died on a Christmas Eve robbery. A couple of hours ago, the chief of Irving Police tweeted this: "Tonight, another step along the long journey of closure, and justice was taken. Irving PD officer Aubrey Hawkins will never be forgotten." Garcia is now the 4th of the 7 to be executed. 2 others are on death row. They await. One died during that escape 18 years ago.
I pray to see the upper when my days run out of numbers.
It's not about justice. I don't think it is. I think it's... One of the key legal issues.
Texas death row inmate just dodged his execution all because his spiritual leader could not be there. The U.S. Supreme Court blocked Patrick Murphy's lethal injection tonight after his attorneys claimed religious discrimination because his Buddhist priest was not allowed in the death chambers. Murphy is part of a group of inmates who escaped prison in 2000 and then killed an Irving police officer.
Like a real anthem. Shawty saw my wallet, now she think it's answer. Whoa, telling me she wanted me to try to get saved, baby. I am not the answer. No, I can never do with a kiss on my lip, like I am not a with a lip.
A Tennessee death row inmate has died, but not. Tennessee death row inmate has died, but not from lethal injection.
The Department of Corrections says James Dellinger, convicted of first-degree murder in East Tennessee, died from natural causes at Riverbend Maximum Security Institution just before noon today. 5 Alert Desk anchor Hunter Hoagland following this force in the 6 o'clock hour. And Hunter, his attorneys are now weighing in.
Yeah, they are. They say the 71-year-old died from cancer and that he maintained his innocence all the way throughout his life. Dellinger has sat on death row now for the last 26 years. He and another death row inmate, Gary Sutton, were convicted for shooting and killing Tommy Griffin back in 1992. They were also found guilty of murdering Griffin's sister Connie, whose body was discovered inside of a burned car. Dellinger was 41 at the time of the murders, and he spent so much time on death row, he eventually died just waiting to die. His attorney sent us the statement you're reading here behind me. Mr. Dellinger died before his legal team was able to vindicate his absolute and unwavering insistence that he was innocent of the murders that sent him to death row. And Gary Sutton, the other person convicted for these killings as well, his attorneys just say unusual in the statement, putting a lot of blame back on Dellinger.
Banner headlines, normally reserved for the outbreak of war, trumpeted every gruesome detail. America read that Manson led the marauding killers, that he held drug and sex orgies at his makeshift ranch, that he commanded others to kill to prove their love and loyalty to him. At the trial, Manson called himself a child of the system, and some said he had satanic powers. Now, 12 years later, at the age of 47, Charles Manson remains in prison, serving a life term at the California Medical Facility at Vacaville. I interviewed Manson last Saturday at the jail. You will see most of that tonight. It has been edited only for purposes of time, and also because the language at times was rough, very rough. Certain words have been taken out. Some people might ask, why run the Charles Manson interview? Well, television is supposed to make all of us look at ourselves. And that responsibility goes beyond picturing all of us as normal and rational people who are suddenly shocked when the time bomb of insanity goes off in our midst. To not run the Charles Manson interview now would be to ignore his perversity and that of others, which now and again disrupts our lives. To ignore it, to pass the interview by, would mean accepting wickedness and insanity in place of dealing with its problems. The Charles Manson interview will probably provoke dismay, possibly fear, even some anger. I hope it provokes some thought. It begins right after this. Tell me about your life here in prison. Do you read newspapers? Do you listen to the radio? Do you watch television? Do you communicate with people on the outside? What goes on for Charles Manson in this prison?
Well, I can feel the grass growing out there on the lawn, and there's a few trees that's got some leaves on it that I can feel. And I've been in jail all my life, so I'm actually right here at home. How long have I been in jail? 34 years? 34 years, so...
Out of 47, you've been here 34.
I've been in jail, prison, a long time, all my life. I was raised up in here. So I understand jail, so I understand myself, and I can deal with that. I set my cell, and I do my number, like a convict does his number.
You like jail, don't you?
I don't dislike or like.
Let's go back to 1967, the time you were winding up serving a term of a number of years, 10 years. And written accounts indicate that you told the authorities, don't let me out. I can't cope with the outside world. Do you have a recollection of that? And
you make a desperate plea out of something, man. There's no desperate plea out of it. I say I can't handle the maniacs outside. Let me back in.
I didn't use the word desperate. That's your word, Charles.
Yeah, well, your inflection and your voice tones were implications there.
Well, you used the word maniacs on the outside. How are you different from the maniacs on the outside? And why do you call them maniacs? Because you know something, they think you are one.
Yeah, it would reflect. If you hold the negative up to the light, you don't see the light, you just see the negative. So I'm a reflection of your negative, there's no doubt about that, and I can handle that also. I've been handled, ain't I?
I don't know, have you?
Well, I've been up and down these damn hallways, in and out of these nut wards for the last 10 years. You think you could follow that act?
Don't want to follow that act. I don't want to get into it, but why do you